What's up, Lockdown Nation? Listen, I talk a lot about catch technique, especially in my members area, and there's a good reason for it. There's some tremendous advantages to playing catch technique, especially in the slot. Now, some guys are afraid of it, and there are some reasons why, because there's just that very scary feeling of having your feet quiet as someone is running at you full speed. But if you have the courage and you use the technique and you hone in on what it is exactly you're supposed to do, there are some tremendous advantages to playing catch technique. And I'm going to show you how in these two clips that I have for you today from my days coaching at American Heritage. And we are playing against Bishop Sullivan, one of those private schools that are able to collect kids, if I can use that word, from all around their area, let's say regionally. They're based in Virginia, but they have some pretty good talent, and this team was exactly that. So a pretty good quarterback, pretty good offensive line, and some pretty good wide receivers. But you're going to see these two clips here in which we played catch technique, and I'm going to show you and explain to you how catch technique worked in our advantage here, and overall why it is that I like using it. And you're going to have some visual examples as to why I am so high on playing catch technique. Now, if you need some video on the essence of playing catch technique, because I'm not going to get too detailed into it in this one other than to show you the benefits of it, I have some other videos in this members area that will go a little bit more into detail into how to play catch technique. Be sure to check those out by going into the categories of DB tips, as well as anything with technique, or maybe even what he did wrong. I think I have a couple there. So, all right, on to the video. Let's take a look at catch technique in real world examples. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got catch technique in this particular play being played by our guy here over number 2 here on the weak side, as well as number 2 here on the strong side. And if memory serves me, well, you know, let's not rely on my memory on this one. Let's let it roll real quick first. And yeah, okay, it is as I remember it. So we're bringing a blitz right here. And again, we're playing catch technique here, and we're playing it here. We're pressed up outside with the two corners on the number 1 receivers. So we've got press here, and you're going to notice the quarterback, as he drops back, is looking for this receiver here. All right, but the problem for this quarterback is his receiver starts, he runs about 5 yards, and then when he gets to about right here, he's got a DB that's making contact with him. So he's got to guess whether his wide receiver is going to get off of this press or not, whether he's going to get a clean release from that DB's jam or not. And all this is happening while the rush is coming, as you're going to see. And it's just a guess that he's got to make. And this one's actually, it's a 10-yard route, because as you're going to see, he runs here. Our DB gives a little bit more ground than I would like, but the route has to get here, gets his depth, and then get out. But by the DB making contact or just being in the area, it disrupts the route, it slows down the timing, and then again, like I said, the quarterback's got to guess as to whether or not his receiver right here is going to get a clean release on this out in order for him to make that throw. If he guesses wrong and he doesn't get that clean release, now this DB could very well step in front of that pass, intercept it, and go the other way with it for a touchdown. So it puts the quarterback in a really bad situation, as you're going to see here. And he decides not to make that decision. We also got a pretty good pass rush here, but I'm going to tell you what would happen here if we didn't play catch technique. Let's say this DB just backed out and gave space right away. This wide receiver could run here at about this point right here. The quarterback would see that there is some separation, and he can anticipate his receiver running that out, and he can let this ball go before that rush gets there. He could throw it to the area where he expects his wide receiver to be and release that ball before the rush gets there. And then it's a ball that's caught and probably a first down. But by holding our ground, so to speak, and playing catch technique, he's not able to make such a decision. Because if his receiver gets jammed up pretty good and he throws that ball out there, and the DB is the one that breaks to that out route before the wide receiver, then you already know what's going to happen here. So let's take a look at it again. He's holding it, not sure if he's going to get off of it. And he ends up getting dumped by the rush. Let's look at what's happening up here at the top. He didn't look there, but this is what he would have been looking at the top. Let me get rid of that arrow for you. Up here at the top, we're holding our ground, and it's the same deal. At the point of the break, our DB is there. He's right there. He's right on the guy's hip, as opposed to backing out, which would have probably had the DB somewhere back here. And then it's an easy guess by that quarterback that this receiver will have separation at the break, and he can just anticipate and make a throw to an area and have the receiver run there. So this is a prime example of why I like and why we ran catch technique so much. It's very disruptive, and not just in zones, in man-to-man also. And in case you're playing here and you're worried about missing the jam, there's a free safety right here in the middle of the field. Now, I would say right here at this point, on a split like this, we would like the defensive back to be outside and try his best to funnel this receiver in here. All right, that makes it a shorter run for the free safety in case there is a seam ball thrown. If you're going to miss this jam, miss it to the outside, force that receiver in here, and then the free safety is in even better position to help you. But for those of you that are worried about missing a jam here, listen, you just get a piece of the guy, but hold your leverage and force him in here. The quarterback now has to deal with the free safety. He's got to make a pretty good throw. All the while, even after you miss, you can trail the play, stay underneath the wide receiver, and the quarterback can't make a line drive throw. He's got to put air on the throw, and that's going to give the free safety more time to get there. I'm going to just run this one back one more time. Take a look at what's happening all around. Contact on everyone at the point of attack. So let's roll to the next one. We're going to see a similar thing. What we do have here is trips. 1, 2, 3 receivers to the outside. Back is to the weak side. And we're going to play catch technique on the number 2 guy. It allows us to even play at different levels. So on number 1, we're pressed up. On number 3, we're pressed up. And then on number 2 here, we could play catch technique, which is about 5 yards off. And that allows us to be okay if this receiver decides to come underneath. Our guy playing catch technique can just come over the top and reach him here. Or if there's some kind of a scissors concept or an out and up, and this receiver decides to go here, our DB who's playing catch and is on a different level can just go over the top and run with that route down the field. But anyway, let's take a look at it. What's going to happen here is this quarterback is going to be looking for his number 2 receiver. What you're going to see is that at the point of the break, our DB playing catch has made contact with the wide receiver. And again, it puts the quarterback in a bad situation. Okay, he's in conflict. Is my receiver going to get off of this jam and make a clean break into his route? If he does it and I throw the ball, it's going to be an interception and most likely a pick 6. So that's the benefit here. So let's just take a look at it. Going to notice the quarterback looking to that side, holding it. He's not sure what's going to happen. Again, looking, not sure. So let's take a look at what he's looking like. What he's sitting here waiting to see is if he's going to get some separation out of his wide receiver. And look here, there's no separation. Why? Because our DB is holding his ground in catch technique, making contact, and this is what the quarterback is seeing. He has no idea if his guy is going to be able to break off clean from that. On top of that, the momentum of the wide receiver is being stopped. So let's take it back and look. Let's just look at the receiver and the DB. He wasn't even breaking on an in route. He was going on a seam route, which is even more excellent because look, the receiver comes off like a ball of fire trying to get down the field as fast as possible so he could catch this seam route. And he had to stop his feet because our DB is doing a great job of staying square, staying in front of him, getting his feet stopped, and getting a piece of him. Now, at this point, look at what this quarterback is looking at. This guy's locked up. He's locked up. There's nothing there. He would just be throwing, the quarterback would just be throwing this ball on a prayer. And if he misses, too far underneath or to the outside, it's intercepted by the safety that's playing him. Throw the ball too deep, and remember, we've got a safety playing back here. You see him right here. Let me clear everything out. Got a free safety right here. So if he overthrows this ball, trying to keep it away from the DB that's playing catch right here, he runs the risk of this free safety coming over and intercepting the ball. So it's a damn good double team is what we end up with. Let's take a look at it one more time. Comes off. There's contact everywhere. Guy's stuck to him. And now the rush gets here. And he doesn't have time to make that decision. Gets sacked. All right? So you get interceptions and you get sacks in this. And what happens, in this game, they continue to try and want to throw to the slot guys. And over, this is what was happening. We played very good catch technique in this game. So they ended up going back to the outside. They initially didn't want to do that. They didn't want to throw to the outside. They didn't feel like they had good matchups there. We had pretty good outside corners in this game, so they thought the slots were where they could attack, but they saw that they weren't able to, so let's try the outside. And nothing there. It is what they thought it was going to be. Strict hip-to-hip coverage, so they're dead everywhere. They're forced now to run the ball. Look down here. It's tight coverage. This guy's jammed up. Obviously, you can see what's going on up top in this area. He's in this guy's hip, nowhere to put the ball. Free safety's running over there to get it. All right, and let me run that one all the way back again. And then look what's happening in the slot. Even if he tried to throw there, look at what we're doing. Look right here in this slot area. We're playing catch technique. Take a look at that one. Nowhere for him to go. He wants to run an in route. He's being met right at the point of contact. No separation. Let's take a look at the number 2 at the top here. Playing good catch technique, holding his ground. Receiver comes off fast. He's got to stutter down his feet, and his momentum is stopped. He's trying to run a double move on a guy that's not going anywhere. So as you can see, these are the benefits of playing catch technique. You pretty much get lockdown coverage everywhere. But, if you're a coach teaching this, you got to teach your guys to play big, stay square. Don't bail out at the point of contact. When that receiver gets close to you, what's in their mind has to be make contact. Make contact. They've got to play big. They've got to trust, first of all, their technique. Then they've got to trust their help, which comes in the middle of the field from a middle linebacker if you don't send him on a blitz, and definitely from your free safety if he's playing in the middle of the field. You can even play, when they get really good, you can even play this in cover 0 as well. And instead of having a free safety here, there's an extra guy here coming, and the quarterback really doesn't have any time to make a decision. He has to pick a guy and pray and hope that he gets off the jam. So you could play catch technique and cover 0 in the middle of the field too as well. Hope to find some examples of that for you and bring it back to you in a future video. All right, so there you have it. Pretty strong case for running catch technique with your guys in the secondary. Another advantage to it too is you also don't really show when it's man or zone, since the guy's playing 5 yards off. It could be a man, could be a zone. When I was coaching, I did like to run cover 1 and cover 3 with some of the same concepts. It really did a lot to mess up quarterbacks and their reads. That's something I could probably talk about in a future article in the members area. But again, a pretty strong case with those clips for running catch technique. And as I said, there are some other videos in this members area that goes a little bit more into detail into playing and coaching catch technique. But just off that film alone, man, it really is tough on quarterbacks when they have to watch their receiver start, stop, and then start again and try to decide as to whether or not they're going to get separation. Sometimes they throw on separation. Sometimes they throw in anticipation of separation. And when catch technique is played the right way, it destroys the ability for a quarterback to do that. So a really strong case there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the video or the members area, as always, you can reach out to me, cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. Also, hey, you may have noticed this little sweet goodie that I have on. There is gear in my shop. And I think I'll provide a link in the write-up for this to the All Eyes DB Camp shop. This is a novelty item, but if you guys give me your opinion on it, tell me if you like it, we'll have some more made. All Eyes DB Camp, consistency breeds results.
I put the new 4Gs on the G. I trap into the bloody bottoms is underneath. Cause I'm